Okay, exercise 49A. So this is the description video. Hopefully you got through 48B, 48A, relatively straightforward. Some people probably have, a little bit of dips here and there and a little bit of disillusionment thinking that you can finish it, but it's just all about just taking it baby steps. If you saw me in the video, that's how I did it. I did it teeny bits at a time, testing as I go. Okay, in this one, we're going to make the stats server answer a simple protocol and actually do stuff. So if you have it accepting connections and forking and doing stuff in the fork, now it's time to make that fork useful. Okay, the purpose of this is to tell you the first steps in creating a simple little server, and that's answering a protocol. And actually, I do unit tests usually to figure out the protocol, and then I just wire it into the server. So you'll see how I do that. For my demo, I just implement a few of these. But these are sort of the basics. You need to be able to do, you saw me working with it in 48A, but you want to do create, mean, sample. Dumping should do, the dump from the stats library. And remember, we're using stats.h from lib-learnc the hard way. So you have that statistics engine. We're just basically storing those into a giant hash map. All right, you'll need to allow people to name the statistics. I would use a URL scheme because later on we have URLs for doing the hierarchical stuff. So just start with that. You'll need to add CRUD. So I only do a few, but you want to do the typical create, read, update, delete for each of these, And then you want to make sure that you keep the protocol super strict, okay? Don't follow the maxim. It was called Postal's maxim, where it was originally it was be liberal in what you receive and conservative in what you send. And it's turned out to be a terrible idea in network programming. The new one is you want to be maximally strict. You want to be as constrictive as you possibly can. You abort any clients who behave poorly. I'm going to reiterate this. Keep your protocol strict. Don't try to be smart. You keep the parsing exactly what it should be, parsing only what's there, and if they deviate by any amount, any little bit, gone. You just close the connection and exit. It is way safer and way easier to implement a server, and these days you need all the help you can get. Okay, the clues. First thing you want to do is make the data structures for holding the information. That's typical. When you do C, the hardest part is getting the data structures right. Actually, in most software, the hardest part is getting the data structure right. Then you want to write a parser to handle it and fill in the data. So you could do that all in unit tests. You wouldn't even need to put it into the server yet. Then you pass the data to a function that knows how to do that command. So you have command handlers and callbacks. You'll see how I do that. Then what you want to do is just store it in something like a hash map or a BS tree. Okay, you pick. You figure out which one works best for the given situation. Okay, and you can just do it. You'll see if you watch the next video where if you need to cheat, but you just do it in one static variable. You don't even have to do anything fancy. All right, and then finally, keep it simple. Keep it simple. Keep it simple. Keep it simple. All right, don't do anything fancy. Just one little piece at a time. Okay, important references. You're going to need to know how to split strings. How to create tag B strings. So look through the B string documentation and as much as you can, or, if you get stuck, you can go and look at my sample code in the lectures GitHub. Okay, this is supposed to be hard and you're supposed to struggle with it. So remember that. This could take you a while, but if you've got a connection accepted and you have the read sum and write sum from net client and you have ring buffers, it's actually pretty simple. So it's just a matter of sort of like breaking the problem down. And remember, one thing I want to really, really hammer home. I'm going to just make a fake little file here. Don't do this. Let's say I'm making a function. Okay, what everyone does, remember what I told you, the way you write a function, you'll see me doing this in videos, is you write comments. So go to the house, get my wallet, walk to the store, buy bread. Okay, this is just something I'm making up. And then you code the code underneath it. Go to house. Okay, but what might happen is the go to house code might be like 10 lines of C code, and then you can pull this up into a C function. What you should not do is just sit here and then try to write all the code for go to house in one shot. And then all the code for the next part, and then all the code for the next part. Write out comments to plan what you're going to write. They act as like a to-do list, and you just fill in the blanks. Every single creative problem is solved by figuring out how to make it a paint by numbers problem. Don't let people try to tell you that paint by numbers is bad, because that's what almost all professional artists actually end up doing. You just basically break the problem down into smallest components. In the case of writing those functions, you write the little notes, fill in the notes. You've created a paint by numbers problem. That means you've simplified it and made it easier to do. And you'll have a better time if you write your protocol handling functions and then use tests to make sure they work. Instead, automated tests, instead of trying to write, do it from the command line. Okay, that's the end of the A lecture. Remember, if you get stuck, go watch the video and take notes. And if you're still stuck, go look at my code.